This is Alen Robin, and as a prefatory note, I would remind you that none of the sessions in therapy that you are about to hear actually ever took place.
We're open on that question. I should point out, however...
I said exactly the same words. That's exactly what I said.
Oh, well, that's good.
There isn't any doubt.
Well, good.
I didn't say that, did I? Certainly no one knows this better than you.
Good morning, Miss Moore.
Good morning, Doctor.
Send in the first appointment, dear. Try to get in here more often. This is a difficult therapy.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I had reason to believe that maybe we were going to make some progress. I found those hopes dashed.
Don't despair. You're getting dramatic again. You'll progress.
I really hope that's the case.
Pull yourself together. It shall be. You'll see. You're doing well.
Tell it as it is.
I'm not shielding you. Tell me once more, how long now have you believed that you are Joan of Arc?
Since 1965.
And you think there's something I can do?
Call the fire department.
All right, now just please lie down on the couch.
I'm prone.
Yes, you are, but you're not on the couch.
I just couldn't put myself in that position.
Now, you're at an age when a man can begin to doubt his physical magnetism. Do women still find you attractive?
3 out of every 4.
What about the 4th?
Tragically, even dangerously misguided.
What type of women do you prefer?
Small, highly mobile.
Small and mobile. You're still young at heart, yes. Now, what other characteristics do you look for in women?
Very large pluralities.
Any other preferences?
Naked.
What I meant?
Really naked.
I see.
Really naked, 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 really naked.
Well, fine. Now, we'll get into another area here.
Naked, 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 really, really, really.
Yes, you've implied. Now,
Naked, 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 really naked.
Well, good, I understand.
Naked.
Yes, I know you're married. Now, where did you court your wife?
In patrol cars with our police officers.
Now, I withdraw the question.
For goodness sakes.
Now, you and your wife, does your wife have a pet name for you?
Goldberg.
Goldberg. Your wife calls you Goldberg.
Very precious.
Yes, maybe we can get her in here sometime. Now, in your dreams, your fantasies, you tell me you're always with Rachel Welch, is that right?
The great American experiment.
Well, she's very beautiful. What part of her attracts you most?
South of the DMZ.
South of the DMZ. I see.
Naked, really naked.
What have you been doing the last 2 years? How have you been spending your time?
Grabbing guns and throwing firebombs and cynically discrediting America's institutions and insisting on racial name-calling.
I see. All right. Incidentally, I don't think I ever asked you, how old are you?
Only 19.
Now, come on, how old are you?
1,000.
We're almost through for today.
Amen.
You know analysis runs into an expense.
And the bill is worth it. These things are cheap.
And why haven't you paid me?
And so am I.
Where are you going?
The time for talking is over.
Sir, I know you've been waiting a long time to see the doctor,
It's been almost 2 centuries. We've come a long ways.
but you can't go in yet. Senator Thurmond is in with them now.
All right, now, you feel you can benefit from this therapy, you say, about as much as anybody can.
My first choice was Governor Reagan of California.
All right, now, you receive letters, you say, suggesting you take therapy. Where does this mail come from?
The North, the South, the East, and the West.
Well, continue what you were saying before.
He came to the platform to make his acceptance speech, and I shook hands with him then. I had seen him, but I hadn't had the pleasure of making his acquaintance.
This was Jefferson Davis.
That is correct.
You saw Jefferson Davis recently, is that what you're saying?
In Miami.
He's a friend of yours.
He came to the platform to make his acceptance speech.
Now, Jefferson Davis, how does he impress you?
He's an ultra-liberal, far to the left.
Wasn't he defeated in the Civil War by somebody or other?
Abe Forrest?
Have you spoken to Governor Wallace recently?
No, he's an ultra-liberal.
George Wallace is an ultra-liberal.
Governor Wallace
George Wallace. What does he say that makes you think that?
Treat Negroes like everybody else.
I'll make a note of that. All right, we were tracing your childhood last time. You were one of 4 children.
3.9.
You were one of 3.9 children.
That is correct.
Did your parents get along well?
No one can tell who would win.
What did your father call you? I mean, did he have any pet name for you?
Virginia.
Virginia. I see. All right, now, and you went to school, and as of now, how much of the alphabet do you know?
12 letters.
And at school, you majored in...
Obscenity.
You majored in obscenity.
Obscenity.
Now, you said... I didn't understand this. You said when you graduated, you got your master's in FDOM. What is FDOM?
Filthy, dirty, objectionable, obnoxious material.
You got your master's in that.
That is correct.
Now, you lived in a farmhouse, and you said, where was the bathroom?
Far to the left.
Far to the left. How far to the left?
6 or 8 miles.
That is far to the left, yes.
Without that, we have nothing.
I could well imagine. You have dominant tendencies of hostility, anxiety, and dependency. Now, that's rare.
I think those are very important qualities.
Well, I do, too. Now, of course, that's only a Freudian interpretation on my part.
He's an ultra-liberal.
Anything else you care to do?
Stand up,
You can stand up. Go ahead. Incidentally, I have your bill today.
throw it into the house.
I see. Which house?
Far to the left.
You think you really need this therapy, is that right?
This is all very valuable. I think this is bringing into better focus and better understanding the circumstances that we're dealing with.
All right, now, let me understand this. You're the governor of New York, but sometimes you think you're a Pancho Villa.
Bueno, los representantes de los gobiernos han recibido muy bien en todos los países. Mente, los representantes de los sindicatos, de hombres de negocio, de banqueros, distintos ramos de vida.
I'll make a note of that. Now... All right, now, when you're Pancho Villa, you live where?
Mexico.
Mexico. What is this affinity for Pancho Villa?
He started the development of Rockefeller Center.
Oh, really? Pancho Villa did that.
It was going to be a cultural center, but then the Depression came and it fell through.
Rockefeller Center fell through.
Of course. Los representantes de los gobiernos nos han recibido muy bien en todos los países.
I see. Mm-hmm. Incidentally, you're looking very well. Where have you spent the summer?
Camp, Nixon,
Should I call you Governor?
Rocky.
It's Rocky. I should call you Rocky.
Rocky Frelinghuysen,
Oh, Rocky Frelinghuysen. I'll make a note of that. What does it say on the front of your sweatshirt? You've got it all wrinkled up there.
stick with me.
And what is that decal on your motorcycle? What does that say?
Big spender.
Big spender. And what is that button on your helmet?
Camp, Nixon,
All right, now...
Okay, I'm with you.
Now, I'm just curious. How much money do you have on you at the moment?
$1,500 billion.
All right. I haven't really spoken to you about my rates, but I think you know what I expect you to pay for this therapy.
A nickel on the dollar.
Never mind a nickel on the dollar, but pay me what you think it's worth.
64 cents.
I didn't know that.
Los representantes de los gobiernos nos han recibido muy bien en todos los países.
Would you like to clear your throat? That's better. You want to try that once more?
Okay.
You want to clear your throat again?
I'm with you.
You want to let's really bring it up this time.
Bueno.
I think you've got it now. Okay. No, once more. All right, once more.
Los representantes de los gobiernos nos han recibido muy bien en todos los países. Los representantes de los...
All right, now we'll continue. Is that better? Now, in retrospect, what was the most difficult task that you've had in your life?
Graduating from college.
And the second most difficult?
Getting a job.
You're getting excited again. Just relax. Now, what did your mother call you? Did your mother have any pet name for you?
Rockefeller's Folly.
Los representantes de los gobiernos nos han recibido muy bien en todos los países.
If I could only unravel it, that's the key right there. You're the mayor of New York.
I don't know.
You just can't burst in here like this. There's just no time in my schedule.
I think it's time to change it.
Well, there's just no time today. You've confused Tuesday with Monday again. That's what you've done.
That's precisely what happened.
I see you came with your usual entourage.
55,000 school teachers, 32,000 policemen, 11,000 sanitation officers.
Who suggested to you that you'd come in for therapy?
Governor Rockefeller,
I see.
the governor, his family, and his friends.
Oh, no, Fred. You have this persecution complex. What were you saying about Mickey Mouse?
He and his colleagues seek vengeance against me.
I see. Where are you going?
We must stop this.
Now, you've been coming to me for psychotherapy for how long now?
2 to 3 months.
No.
18 months. I would say that we're open on that question. I should point out, however, every day, forever.
Well, that's all right.
In 1966, 1967, 1968,
No.
for 6 months, for 4 years, or 12 months, late February, 2 years ago, or 4 years ago, or 10 years ago. 1962, over the past 4 years.
No matter. And you still think that you are?
President of the United States.
That's a common disturbance. You were late again today. I suppose you just flew in from the Winter White House in
South Vietnam.
I'll make a note of that. Incidentally, would you care to use the couch today?
I think I will just stand on the table.
All right. You just stand on the table, as usual. Incidentally, I like that suit you're wearing. Who made that for you?
Millions of South Vietnamese men, women, and children.
Yes, and that's an interesting tie. Where did you get the tie?
Thailand.
Now, you were telling me last time that you were holding talks with Napoleon.
I'm going to meet with him for an extended visit tomorrow at Camp David, and I will be discussing a number of problems with him.
We've never gotten into this before. Are you religiously inclined?
Yes, very relevant.
Believe in the Almighty?
He has been regularly briefed on the telephone on 2 occasions, and
He has. All right, I'll make a note of that.
I'm going to meet with him for an extended visit tomorrow at Camp David.
He's coming to Camp David also. We look into earlier influences now. Your parents, did they ever spank you and put you to bed without dinner?
This last Friday.
I see. I'll make a note of that.
I'm not afraid of him.
Well, that's good. Was this an embarrassing line of questions for you? You look flushed. Have you any fever?
199.8,
Well, what is normal for you?
200.7.
Well, that's all right then. Well, let's get to your very early childhood. What did you say when you needed to be changed?
I won't discuss those activities at this time.
It's important that we do.
Talk about anything else.
Please answer the question. What did you say when you needed to be changed?
And it's raining.
It's raining. I see. Did your parents have any pet name for you at this time?
Nixon the Rainmaker.
Well, would you say the situation got slightly out of hand at that period?
Yes, I would.
All right. How old were you when this pattern ended?
Well, it was approximately a year ago, not quite a year ago.
I'll make a note of that. Getting on to something else. Last week, we were into your sleep habits, and they seem to be of some concern.
I'm not concerned.
All right, but you still sleep with your teddy?
I'm concerned.
And your duck? You still sleep with your duck?
Very sparingly.
Very sparingly.
That has the psychological effect. Mr. Meyer.
Mr. Meyer. That's the name of your duck. All right, and you still wear the one-piece pajamas with the feet?
Generally.
And you still sleep with the lights on?
Quite candidly, yes.
You're afraid of something?
Yes.
Tell me what.
Tax reform, the House and the Senate. My desk, public opinion. Hanoi, South Vietnam. The Thieu regime, look, time, desegregation in education. Hanoi, Peking, and the Soviet Union.
That's okay. I just thought I'd ask. These are things you're afraid of.
Mr. Harriman, business.
Okay, all right. I'll make a note of that.
Rockefeller, the French. NATO. Clark Clifford.
Now, let's get into word association.
And a big steel company. Secretary Rogers and the Vice President.
Word association. I give you a word, and you give me the first word that comes to your mind. Ready? Bad.
Good.
Good.
Better.
Sophia Loren. Once more. Sophia Loren.
Two things.
Sex.
On Wednesday.
Spiro Agnew.
I don't know the gentleman.
Motel.
Mr. Smith.
Now, I think...
Most of the American people, Judge Carswell, everybody in Washington, Secretary Laird,
Yeah, that's what you're afraid of.
trucks, this room, the sea, the air, the news, television.
Wait, what are you doing?
I have decided to go
Oh, you're back.
General Abrams' honest debate, our allies.
If you don't mind my saying so, this is a miserable office.
Well, where is yours?
Above a drugstore.
Doctor,
Yes, Miss Moore.
there's a problem in the waiting room.
Oh, I'll be right there. I'm sorry. I'll try to get to you soon.
We have much to do.
I'll try to hurry. Incidentally, what have you been doing lately?
Learning to read and write for the first time.
Well, that's good. And I'll get to you soon.
Spell cat,
Well, later.
write dog.
Not now. I'll get to you soon. As I recall your problem, you still think you're married to a bird. How does she flap her wings again?
Straight up and straight down.
Straight up and down.
And they curve to rise like this, and they'll go down like this.
Like this.
More like this.
More like that. All right, I'll get to you soon. Oh, I forgot your name.
Uncle Sam.
I hope you believe this therapy is of some value to you.
Well, I do believe it, and I believe it most emphatically.
Last week you thought you were Judge Crater. Who are you this week?
The Pope, the spiritual leader of 500 million Roman Catholics.
All right. It's vital that you realize you are the vice president.
The president,
Well, the president. Tell me how you manage that.
by heavy planning,
I say, well, when Mr. Nixon became president 2 years ago.
well, I hadn't really noticed that he'd done that.
Oh, yes, you mentioned that.
Dick Nixon, Mr. Nixon,
The same, yes.
he didn't say that, did he?
He mentioned it in passing, yes.
Do you mean to say? I don't think it's quite fair.
Regardless, who did you think was president?
Senator Thurmond.
That is correct.
Fine, now we can continue.
I said exactly the same words. There isn't any doubt. Really naked.
It's a political thing.
Yes, I'm sure it is. Now, will you please lie down wherever you're comfortable?
In the gutter.
Anywhere, I don't care. Now, what is this new decal on your hard hat?
Mr. Nice Guy.
Getting back to something we uncovered last session, what brought you to Washington originally?
The Poor People's March.
The Poor People's March, and you decided to stay. Now, oddly enough, the tendency to hallucinate can stem from a dietary deficiency. What do you normally eat for breakfast?
A lot of young people.
And I'll note that. Now, let's try some word association. You know how it works. I give you a word, you reply with the first word that comes to mind. Men,
Yippee,
women,
hippies.
sex.
Let me give you one very significant example.
Well, never mind. We'll try that again. Sex.
1966.
Tiny Tim.
The tenor of the times.
Ecstasy.
A month in Mississippi.
Attila the Hun.
Mr. Nice Guy.
The New York Knicks.
Radical liberals.
Rabbi.
Circumscribed.
No, but you're close. All right, now, you know this is my birthday today. What would you like to give me?
A hemorrhage.
All right, we're through for today.
Thank God.
there's so much more that we can do.
Please, this isn't even your day. All right, now, what do you think of your psychoanalysis so far?
There is nothing profounder than it, nothing more beautiful than it, and nothing, in my judgment, more satisfactory than it.
How long have you been coming to me for therapy?
118 years.
Now, to begin with, you were late for therapy again today. What were you doing?
Pouring toothpaste into a tube.
That's what you were doing. All right, now, who do you think you are today?
Henry VI.
Incidentally, I see you're limping today. Did you stub your toe or something?
I ran into a rather interesting aphorism.
I see. I've never asked you this. Who do you see when you look in the mirror?
God.
Now, you've never been elected to public office. What do you think it takes to be elected?
A lot of just plain old racism.
I see. Now, you're a very attractive man, obviously, and what do you like to do when you're with beautiful women?
Usher them into paradise.
There is a ring of bravado there. Perhaps it conceals an insecurity with women. You think it might be that?
It has something, it is a, and
Now, you were telling me you had a recurring nightmare. What is that again?
Richard Nixon becomes president of the United States.
You have this other nightmare when you wake up in a cold sweat and you think you're surrounded by a band of liberals.
They gave that, I resent, my point is.
All right, we'll take you again next week. Where would you like us to conduct the therapy next week?
On a very shaky scaffolding.
All right, you're the governor of California.
There would be several ways to answer that.
You were a movie actor, weren't you? As you look back on it, what was the result of your career?
The Depression.
I see. And now you're the governor.
I'm in the horse business.
You are.
I trade horses.
I see. Do you whinny like that often?
9 chances out of 10.
Well, why hadn't you thought of coming to see me sooner?
It never occurred to me.
It never did. I see. I like that blanket you're wearing.
It has a great many holes in it.
Well, don't catch a chill. Now, have you ever consciously thought that you were on your way to becoming a horse? Do you think you're a horse now?
About 35%.
I see. Why did you want to become a horse, anyhow?
People pay taxes.
And no problem. That's a defensive posture. You're afraid of something?
Tax reform, the House and the Senate, my desk, public opinion, the UN, Hanoi.
Not now, please. I'm sorry. Now, let me put this to you. What do you think you'd do if you met a beautiful filly?
I would propose.
All right. As a horse, did you ever win a race against anybody?
J. Edgar Hoover.
All right. We'll take you again next week. Run along now. Let me try to understand this once more. You're the mayor of Chicago. Has anyone thought to psychoanalyze you before?
Thousands of Chicagoans and people throughout the nation.
All right, now, that amuses you. As the mayor...
You wouldn't call me that name. No one should be called that name.
You're getting hostile.
I'm not going to take that from anyone.
Now, just relax.
You're a liar. You lie.
You're getting violent. You know who I had to contain you last time?
The FBI, the Justice Department.
That's right.
Army and the National Guard.
Exactly. Now, please don't forget that.
The District Attorney, the Police Department, the Fire Department.
That's correct.
Call the fire department.
Get in or get out.
Naked, really naked.
Shut up.
For goodness sakes.
Many people are talking.
Please, keep the door closed out there. Ms. Moore?
Doctor, I just...
Los representantes de los gobiernos nos han recibido muy bien en todos los países.
Who can continue like this?
I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Naked, really naked.
Doctor, I...
The sea, the air, the news, television, opinion.
Bueno,
Naked, really naked. For goodness sakes.
I can't stand it.
Ms. Moore?
I've been surrounded by Republicans.
Who can continue?
Spell cat, write dog.
Who?
igualmente los representantes de los...
I see. Now they're taking me away.
Thank God.
All right, lock up, Miss Moore.
Doctor, I...